Welcome to Ouachita County Artisans. We're very thankful that you are back with us again today. I'd like to encourage you, if you would, to look at some of our other videos. You know, Ouachita County Artisans kind of had its beginning on a Facebook page, and we were highlighting and showing the things that we make in the shop. And we still are doing some woodworking. Hopefully, as it will cool off, it's a little warm out in the shop. So maybe it'll cool off a little bit more and I can spend more time in the shop here as the weather cools off. And we're very thankful that the air is cooled off. It's cooler in the mornings. It's still been getting up pretty warm in the afternoons, but fall is in the air and I love fall. Fall is my favorite time of the year. So just a little update, if I may. In my last video, I talked about being frustrated, and it was about my Cricut. Well, I finally got my Cricut to work, and it cut like it was supposed to. And it's just like I said on that video, you know, it'll all be all right. And it did. It all come out all right. I had looked at all the stuff on the internet. I'd looked at all the stuff on the YouTube and all of those things, and just couldn't figure out what the problem was. Well, I decided that what I would do is go back and reload an older version, and I did. And I said, you know, I want to try this, and I was still a little bit frustrated, and it worked. And I went back in there the other day, Monday, I believe it was, and I needed to cut out some other things, and I put it on the deal, and it cut out fine. It did perfectly, just like it was supposed to. So maybe I got that fixed, and that's the reality. You know, it's going to work out. Today, I want to talk to you about something that hopefully might be able to assist your family, and maybe just you. But the other day, Miss Ella and I went to the store, and we went to a larger city in our area, and we went to a larger store that had a grocery store, and we were walking through there, and I always look at the meat to see if they have anything that we can afford. Well, I looked at sliced boneless pork chops, and they were over $5 a pound. I like to have passed out. Over $5 a pound. And according to what I understand, is that pork has went up over 40% over the recent months. And beef is just, we can't afford to eat much beef around here. That's just a splurge for us. Even chicken is getting more expensive. All kinds of groceries are getting more and more expensive. So, you know, the thing is that sometimes we have to search a little bit to be able to afford what is available. Now, we eat a lot of pork. A couple of years ago, we were very fortunate in having available some hogs that we had killed and cooled, and we processed those hogs. Now, maybe in some of our upcoming videos, I'll share with you some more about the processing end of meat. I am a meat cutter. I have been to school to learn to be a meat cutter. I operated meat markets back when they had butchers in the meat markets. I operated meat markets for several years. So I do know about meat and about cutting meat. I've even had to work on a kill floor, if you know what that is. So I've done it all. Also, with the hogs that we had a couple of years ago, or last year really, we processed all the bacon, the bellies, and made bacon out of them. We processed the hams, made ham out of some of it. But not everybody has an opportunity to get a whole or a half a hog. And if you get that whole piece, and that's the way I like it myself, I want the whole half. I don't want it cut on. I just want it split in half, cooled out, and give it to me. And then I'm good. But you have to understand, I used to do that for a living. That's what I did. And I know how to do the curing. I know how to cut it all up, package it up, and put it in the freezer. But maybe you don't have access just to that. But maybe you do have access to large portions at your local store. Now, the pork chops were over $5 a pound. They were cut up, packaged in a nice little package. Was not packaged at that facility, at that store. It was packaged somewhere else. And that's what got rid of all the butchers. We used to have a butcher in every store. But now they package them at a central location, and all they do is just put them out in the counter. There's no butchers at these stores. So they also will put out things and note them as roasts or something along that line, which you can make your boneless pork chops out of. Now, I know this is going to be kind of crazy because I dug this out of the freezer. And to be honest with you, I keep these things in the freezer. If I find a good deal on a piece of meat, I'll buy some and I'll put it in the freezer. Then when we want pork chops, I'll get it out, thaw it out, and cut it up. Now this is considered a half loin pork roast. And it's kind of damp out here on the back, but this is what I found. Now, over $5 a pound to have boneless pork chops. Now, I was able to find these for $1 or for $2.44 for a pork loin roast. Guess where boneless pork chops come from? From the loin. And this is a boneless pork loin roast. All you have to have is a knife, and instead of paying over $5 a pound for those pork chops already cut up, you can buy one of these for half that, about half that. Cut them up yourselves. Just cut them up, package them, put them in your freezer. Now, Miss Ella and I put 4 pork chops per package in the freezer. So I'll go in and I cut them just about a ½ inch thick. That's the normal pork chop thickness. Now, if you want to, you can cut them an inch thick, cut them down the middle, and make a butterfly out of them if you want to. You can cut them as thin as you can cut them. If they're a little bit frozen, kind of set up good, they're easier to cut for most people. Don't let them get too hard, because you'll end up cutting your finger off, because the knife will slip. Now, for me, I just cut them up, and then I bring them home, unpackage them, rinse them off, and cut them up. That's what I do. But again, remember, I used to do that for a living. I would take a whole hog and cut the whole thing up. I'd take a whole cow, do the same thing. We never did have any other things besides beef and pork in the markets that I worked for. But I've cut up lamb. Of course, lots of chicken. We had lots of chicken. I've cut up so much chicken, it's unreal. But that's just it. $2.44, and it was like 5.5 a pound for the ones already cut up. Now, sometimes we can find beef that's in a big portion. In other words, like a beef loin, briskets. when briskets went over 99 cents a pound, I about had a fit. Because we used to cut up briskets to make hamburger meat out of, because nobody would buy them. Now they're $3 and $4 a pound. But you can take a brisket, the whole brisket, not trim, the whole brisket, for like $3 a pound. Hamburger meat is like $4 and $5 a pound. You could take that whole brisket, grind it, the whole thing. You have to grind it twice, and I might do a video on some of this stuff. But you grind it twice, you've got hamburger meat for whatever the brisket costs, and you can package it up however you want to package it. And instead of paying $4 and $5 a pound, maybe it's $3 a pound. What I'm trying to encourage you at, especially those of you who are homesteaders, and I know I've noted here recently some of our people that we watch on YouTube, they're all into butchering their own animals and preparing their own animals, and that's great. I just love that, and I'm encouraged that they're going to have some get-togethers to learn how to do that, and that's good. You know, I had to go to school to learn how to do that, so but anyway, like this pork loin, they say it's a roast, but with this pork loin, I can make pork chops. I can have a piece of pork loin roast if I wanted to make pulled pork. I can make butterfly chops. I can make breakfast chops, and get this, I can make Canadian bacon. Because what is Canadian bacon? Canadian bacon is a loin, pork loin, cured and smoked. That's what Canadian bacon is. And I have taken these loins, because there at a time they were cheaper than pork butts, and I could take a loin, cure it, put it over here in the smoker that's out here on the back. I have a smokehouse, and I can make Canadian bacon. I take a pork butt if I can get it, and I prepare it, cut it, and then I cure it, and I smoke it, and I make what they call country style bacon out of it. Put it in the smokehouse and smoke it. It's hard to come up with pork bellies. They're very expensive if you just buy a fresh pork belly. Now, if you're butchering hogs, you got bellies, 2 for each hog. And that's what we did when we cut up the others. So hopefully, this will give you a little encouragement to look for those larger pieces of meat that you can take home and cut up for yourself and save nearly 50% on what the already cut product is being sold for currently. The sad commentary is 40% increase in pork price. Our groceries are just skyrocketing. It's just unreal. You know, we got a little bit out of the garden, but not enough to put by. So we're going to have to be real careful here at the ranch. And next year, we're gonna put a whole bunch more garden stuff back in out here so that we can put things up. I am so thankful that you have been with us this day and are watching this video. Hopefully you are encouraged. And that's what we're about. Encourage you and help you think about ways to save money. You know, poor folks have to do things poor ways. And that's what we are. We're poor folks. And we do things because we know how to do those things. So I want to encourage you. Please share these videos. Also, if you would, subscribe to our YouTube channel. I keep that all messed up in my brain. Ring the notification bell so you'll get a notification when we put out a video. Share these. Make sure that you're sharing it with your friends. your family, because they need to know how to do this too. They need some encouragement. We do put this up on our Facebook page, Ouachita County Artisans. We ask you to share and follow there. We are working on some wood projects that we will be sharing with you in the next, hopefully the next week or so, that we have been working on. So save some money. Go buy you a chunk and cut it up for yourself. May God bless you and yours each and every day.